always think of you when spring comes, like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why, always dream of you when spring comes. It's like the heat on my skin takes me back to the time met you on a Friday, halfway out at the door of the club, playing soul on the weekends, stayed in bed till Wednesday, fell in love with you right there and then. I was young, couldn't see that.
Hi Aquarius, welcome to my channel. My name is Kem. Okay, so right away for the meditative session, Aquarius, I saw a koi fish. And koi fish is, there is always enough. What is the number? Sorry. 36. 9. I was seeing 7 for you, but the number with koi fish was 36. As I was reading the card, it was saying how when you want to generate wealth, when you want to generate something, you have to start within so that it can manifest without, like outside of yourself. So once you start seeing it in your mind, once you start envisioning it, once you put yourself in a state of, oh, like, you know, I'm always abundant in terms of generating wealth internally, maybe say some affirmations. And it's like once you change your internal way of thinking or what it is in your head, the outer conditions of your world will follow. And it was saying how, like, if you just ask spirit, like tell them I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm gonna put in my 100% effort, can you help me? They're like 100% ready to help you when you ask them for help. So that's it for your meditative session. Let's get into the card. First thing I'm getting is there's like a change in the tides, a change, a shift. I just feel like I'm looking at the waves, something to do with time and the way that things are always changing, things are always shifting. And I don't know if it's like you feel like you're running out of time. I feel like it's a woman, like I see her hair is like turning white for some reason. You always know that the tide is going to come in and then it's going to go and then it's going to come in and it's going to come and go and it's going to go. Like everyone knows that about the ocean, right? But I feel like there's like an unpredictability. Like you feel like it's unpredictable. Even though I guess it would be the most predictable thing. Like it's like breathing. But for you, it's unpredictable. Something with time and it's unpredictable. And maybe I think it also has to do with yourself. The way that your energy flows in and out, like the times that you're fruitful or abundant, I feel like you deem it because of this masculine feminine energy. And the times that you feel like you have nothing to give is because maybe this, like the way that you work is based on someone else. The way that you feel during the day, like, you know, when you get a text from somebody, you're like, oh my God, I got a text, I'm so happy. Like, it's like that, but way more intense. I also feel like what you don't understand is that you have the power to control how you feel, but I feel like you give you might feel like the power is not within you, but I do feel like it is within you. And I feel like you think that you're aging, and not in like a positive way. Like you think of aging as like a negative thing. I mean, time is an illusion, and when we want something like immediately, it usually has to do with our ego that needs to be fed immediately. It's like, oh, we can't wait for something. And all I'm getting with this reading is time. And I think that's why you were getting koi fish. It's like you have enough, you are abundant, but I feel like in your mindset, you feel like you're not, like you're lacking, like you're aging, like time hasn't been kind to you, like you're only like kind of going downhill from here, like, you know, like a negative kind of, like a negative tone to what time is. And what we should look at it as is like, it's the most, maybe not time, but the way that the ocean moves, it comes in and out, it's predictable, it's like breathing, it's something that we can like depend on. But you don't see it in that way, you see it as something that like is unpredictable. And maybe that's the feminine or masculine energy that you're connected to, and that they kind of, you wax and wane with them. Like when you guys are good, then everything's good, and when you guys are bad, everything's bad. And what you don't understand is that you control your own emotions. You control what flows in and out, like the way your emotions flow, and that's dependent on you. But I feel like you give the credit to another energy, another form. You feel like, I guess maybe you feel powerless. I also feel like there's an energy here who, I never felt like this way about this card, but it's like this person can go either way. This person can like go to the light and go to the dark. Like that's how you are with your energy, where you're 100% light and then 100% dark and 100% light and 100% dark. Like I can work for the light and I can work for the dark. I can work for the light, I can work for the dark. It's like, what side do you choose? And it's like, oh, well, it's really based off an energy to me. It's like the energy and the emotion that I'm feeling at this moment. And if I'm not feeling up to like speed right now, then that's going to be towards the dark. And if I'm working and if I'm feeling great, that's going to be towards the light. And it's like, I feel like the message to you is you've already claimed enough wisdom. And wisdom is when you take knowledge and use it practically, right? It's one thing to like learn a fact, but it's another thing to use it in an everyday life scheme. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to gain like the alphabet, like you know the alphabet, you know your ABCs, but it's another thing to read a book, right? And then it's another thing to read the book, process the information, and use the information from the book in a practical way in your everyday life. That's what wisdom is, right? The crone is someone who's very experienced and someone who knows, you know, it's someone who knows what they're doing. It's not, you know, an 18-year-old, or it's not, you know, a 14-year-old. The crone is someone who's supposed to have been through life's experiences, right? Someone who's supposed to have gone through many experiences and has attained the wisdom. I don't know, I just feel, again, like this darkness, like this energy that you feel like might be pulling you. Like a dark and a light, a dark and a light, a dark and a light. And there is no, if we're talking about shadow sides, there's no problem with having a shadow side. We are all dark and light beings. But what you need to understand is, and there's no like, oh, well, I'm moving from dark to light, I'm moving from dark to light. There is no problem with that. Like the sun sets and the moon rises, the sun sets and the moon rises. That's like the normal cycle. So maybe there are some people here who are learning to use both the dark and the light in a positive way. But with wisdom in reverse, I'm afraid that there are some people here that are not applying that knowledge and who are only kind of stepping in a direction that is more towards like a negative or low vibe. And I don't even want to say low vibe. It's not low vibe. Like the darkness is not low vibe. How do I explain it? It's like the darkness is not low vibe. Maybe that's what you need to see, is that like that dark side of yourself, that light in the dark, like maybe it's also the way you are viewing it, it's like, well, I don't really like this dark side of me. And it's not this, but what you need to understand is all energy, we are all energy, and we all have the light and we all have the dark, and we have to learn how to use our dark for good as well as our light for good. Not everything that's coming out of this energy is going to be bad. If anything, there's some of you here that are learning to use the dark side, that shadow side, and learning to use it in a way that suits you, in a way that like speaks to you, in a way that you never thought that you could use this energy. It's like a death and rebirth, but for that dark side of you. That's what I'm feeling. It's like, whereas before, that dark and light energy, you know, whereas before that dark and light energy maybe used to control you, maybe used to, you know, you would like lose a week, you would lose a day, you would lose a couple of hours to this energy that you couldn't really understand. It's like now you're learning how to use that other side of you. Someone might have Scorpio. And it's like what you're birthing is yourself. I don't feel like you're birthing an offer to someone. You're birthing the other side of you. You're birthing the side of you that... At first I was seeing this as like your energies kind of goes with the flow of other people. And I think that's how it used to be. But now I feel like that other energy that you get like, you know, at night or whenever you get that other type of energy, it's like you're learning how to use it in a way that's going to birth a lot of things. And these things are new to you, and maybe they're new to everyone. Like maybe it's just a whole new way of doing things, a whole new way of thinking things up. And with the Queen of Air, it's like maybe this has something to do with speaking. I just feel like out of all the queens, the Queen of Air, you know, she's like the dark background, and she's like the dark and the light. I don't know if you can see that. And it's like you're learning how to integrate both the shadow and the light to work with you, as opposed to the way you used to think, where it was always based on someone else's energy, where you would be pulled down, or it was based on, you know what I mean? And now you're learning to go with like the flow, like go with how things shift in and out, and there is nothing wrong with that. How the tides shift in and out. It's like now you know how to like control this energy that you're getting, and you're not going to be like, you're birthing that new side of you. I don't want to clarify the Queen of Air because I feel like that's just you integrating this new awareness of how you can use this other side of you, like learning to integrate it into your everyday. It's not going to stop you for weeks at a time anymore. It's not going to take up any of your time. And time is an illusion, right? Okay, let's just get advice. Be generous of spirit. 10. You're never alone. What I'm getting with this is really like spirit saying that through all these times of darkness, through all the times that you've been struggling, that they were there for you. And any time that you felt alone, that you weren't. And I think that's like something that they want you to really know and understand and trust, that anytime you're struggling with anything, that they've always been there for you. And when it says be generous of spirit, I feel like they're trying to say that you have, like with koi spirit, when they were saying like if you need help, ask, like I think that's what they're saying, like if you need help from spirit in learning how to integrate these energies and learning how to bring that new cup of love and emotion for yourself, and understanding who it is that you are and respecting yourself, like, oh, this is who I am, this is the sides that I have, this is who I am, you know what I mean? It's not always good, it's not always bad, it's just this is who I am. And I keep thinking of the snake. Like the snake gets a bad rep, right? But is the snake like the snake can always, like most songs, like they say that the snake is the one that's always gonna trick you, and I feel like it's just kind of like misjudged. It's like a misjudged character. Like it's time to kind of re-look at everything and re-look at yourself, and if you've been feeling kind of torn between two sides, that it's completely normal, and to accept that that's who you are, and that it will get easier, and that spirit is going to be there to help you if you ask for it. Giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. The Princess of Mercy. I don't know if someone has hurt you, or if someone's going to hurt you, or maybe you've been very hurt in the past. But this side of you is always kind of like sparked as when you feel like threatened, or you feel like things have been unfair for you. And I'm getting like the lion, and I'm getting the tiger. I'm just getting that if we learn to forgive others for the damage that they have done to us, it's going to set us free. And with the Princess of Mercy, I think that starts with you forgiving others for maybe the wrongdoings that they have done to you. Like whatever brought this darkness out in you, or whatever triggers you or brings that side of you out, I feel like you kind of want to have some sort of revenge, some sort of like, well, they'll pay for what they did to me. With the Princess of Mercy, giving is receiving. The energy of the universe is merciful. I feel like that's to you, to be merciful to whatever it is that has hurt you in the past, whatever it is that like kind of brought your awareness of this side of you. It may be something that you're just starting to see from yourself, and you will learn how to integrate it into like who you are, and have this new love for who it is that you really are. And it's not necessarily like you're going to be a bad person because, you know, that's the side that you're working with. No, it's like we all have both sides, and we're all learning how to like deal with both those sides, and they get triggered when we're treated unfairly, or we feel like we're being, you know, treated wrong. What is it? It's like to forgive is divine. Something like that. Like we need to forgive and learn to integrate the lightness and the dark, because we all are light and dark. That person who was triggered by someone else, was triggered. It's like a chain, right? And it's like we need to break the chain. Like why continue being of like something of darkness? You know what I mean? Why choose to be dark when we can be light? That's, I guess, what this reading is. It's confusing for me too. I hope that it helps somebody, and thank you so much for being here.